Well, some relief is coming to Maine's homeless shelters. Early this morning, the Appropriations and Financial Affairs Committee voted unanimously to provide $5 million in emergency funding to support homeless shelters.
Yeah, like we were just saying, this comes after members of Maine's coalition of shelters came together last week, urging lawmakers to help more than 20 shelters around the state. They say shelters have been underfunded for years and feared many would have to close if they didn't get adequate funding. Payroll costs alone for many shelters have risen up to 60% of the budget, and many say they need more staffing to serve the population coming inside their doors.
It'll keep the lights on, it'll keep the bills paid, it'll make sure we've got housing navigators who can do their work, peer support specialists, help us link them to services that moves them more quickly through the system onto long-term permanent housing.
The $5 million will come from the general fund to the Maine State Housing Authority. It's unclear when the full legislature will take up the spending proposal, a follow-up to a budget plan, and that's also approved in March.